Hello, good evening and welcome to News Night on Metro Television, coming to you live from the Ekwa Bohema studios here at North Ridge in Accra. My name is Ifwa Ando. Coming up in the next 60 minutes. Speaker of Parliament admits minority's motion of censure against Finance Minister Ken Ofori-Atta, despite Deputy Majority Leader Alexander Afenyo-Markin's argument that the reasons given by the minority were unjustified. Bank of Ghana and its security task force revokes licenses of 2 forex bureaus for breaching Ghana's forex bureau laws. Ghanaians fume over intended increment in the price of sachet water from 50 Ghana pesos to 60 Ghana pesos by the National Association of Sachet and Packaged Water Producers. Plus 14 illegal miners in South Africa cleared of rape charges after DNA evidence failed to link them to the crime. Details coming up shortly. Do stay. An attempt by the majority to get the Speaker to strike out a motion of censure filed against embattled Finance Minister Ken Ofori-Atta has failed. Deputy Majority Leader Alexander Afenyo-Markin on Thursday questioned why the order of notice, which is required to advertise for 7 days, also captures the grounds for the action by the minority caucus. But the Speaker, Alban Bagbin, overruled the objection.
The majority in Parliament wants the motion to censure against Finance Minister Ken Ofori-Atta thrown out for want of evidence. Speaking on the floor, the Deputy Majority Leader Alexander Afenyo-Markin argued the minority MPs failed to attach evidence to the motion to back their claims. Afenyo-Markin argued that the reason given by the minority were unjustified, adding that the Minister of Finance has not been heard on the allegations.
A motion to be advertised accompanied with allegations, which is not founded on facts. If that is the way my colleagues on the minority side are saying is the intention of the Constitution, they should provide proof. I am saying that, Mr. Speaker, the motion is supposed to be advertised. That is what the Constitution says. The Constitution is not saying that you should accompany it with allegations as part of the motion.
The minority members, however, rubbished the claims, arguing there's no enough evidence to impeach Ken Ofori-Atta.
We have made reference to constitutional provisions of Article 178, Article 176, and 82. Mr. Speaker, to demonstrate with fact on this floor that the minister is in breach of the law, apart from the fact that he's trashed the Ghanaian economy, we will do so. So, to preempt and say that the motion, you cannot question the competence of the Speaker in admitting the motion. And we have not given you any facts. We are only giving you headlines of the matters to which we will lead with evidence. The Speaker, he definitely needs to go and look at the standing orders and learn to know how a motion is cast, Mr. Speaker, because the way he's arguing clearly points to the fact that he doesn't know how a motion should be cast.
In the end, the Speaker upheld the motion, which is scheduled to mature within 7 working days.
And so please, I don't take these decisions lightly. It's not just a matter of putting it on record. Somebody could differ from my position in future depending on the context and the circumstances of the day. Seasons do change. But in present circumstances, I think this is the best thing to do for the nation. And my admission definitely is unassailable.
Meanwhile, Speaker of Parliament Alban Bagbin says the cedi has started regaining its value against major world currencies following the impending impeachment proceedings against the finance minister.
Just because people are gaining confidence that action is being taken, the cedi gained some value. And Parliament should be commended. It climbed from about 16 to $1 to around 13. That is a serious gain for this country, and it's because there's some confidence given to the people that action is being taken to rectify the wrongs. Please, let's play our role properly and effectively, and at the end of the day, we will all benefit from it.
Away from Parliament, Vice President Dr. Mahamudu Bawumia says for Ghana to address its current economic crisis, it is imperative to restore fiscal and debt sustainability, limit import dependency, and retain the chunk of her foreign exchange earnings. He said, for instance, fiscal and debt sustainability was one of the key issues the government put on the table in the negotiations with the International Monetary Fund.
Rethinking economic strategies, but there is a clear move towards more self-reliance in economic policy. And at the same time, this global economic environment is transitioning into the fourth industrial revolution, where the digital economy is taking center stage. So as we try to deal with the economic crisis globally, economies also have to reposition themselves to partake in the fourth industrial revolution. In Ghana specifically, we're dealing with an economic crisis that we have to address in different dimensions. The first and most important, which affects the confidence that we have in the economic system, is to make sure that we have fiscal and debt sustainability. This has been one of the areas where we are having discussions with and negotiations with the International Monetary Fund about. Restoring fiscal and debt sustainability, no doubt, is not going to be easy. It will require very bold, difficult, but firm decisions. And I think these are part of the discussions that we are having with the IMF, and I'm sure once those are concluded, it will be clear that it will not be and it should not be business as usual, because we have to adjust to the new global and domestic reality.
Ghanaians have expressed anger over the intended increment in the prices of sachet and bottled water. A statement from the National Executive Committee of the National Association of Sachet and Packaged Water Producers said the price of sachet water is expected to go up to 60 pesos, while the 500 milliliter bottled water will be sold at 2 cedis 50 pesos effective October 31, 2022. There's more in this report.
Per the statement of the association, the 500 ml bottled water will be retailed at 2 Ghana cedis 50 pesos, whilst the 750 ml or medium size will be sold at 3 cedis 50 pesos. Also, the 1.5 ml is expected to hit 5 cedis effective October 31, 2022. The National Executive Committee of the National Association of Sachet and Packaged Water Producers also recommended that a bag of sachet water be sold at 10 cedis, whilst a sachet water will be sold at 60 pesos. The water producers said the increment has been necessitated by the rising cost of inputs needed for the production, such as fuel, packaging materials, and utility tariffs. According to the association, the free fall of the cedi against major trading currencies has made it difficult to acquire packaging materials, which are mainly imported. Ghanaians are, however, not happy with the newly announced prices.
Because sister they want better. Obi on kita sister na 40 crap onya. Ya de ma mo 13 this almost yenton sister de na so na obi anum biemu. Yesra mo a mo hwe no mo hwe maye na we de anu ohye.
Me kran kola 4. Nkola 4 no mo ni na de nsuo ko school mo pon so mo abanu nsuo. Ye obatan yesre sena system ni sin kono de is too much. pure water is too much. At least 40 persons no kwamon consider nsi ho, but say na e ko na esan kosro no. Ya bre yesre mo. Yesre na yesre aban no so wonte so. Nyaman is too kosro yen titiri wufo a ye wo ba bebre no. Ye bre
sure, back yesterday, no, it's too much. 20 pesos grandpa, your soup. Yes, I ever call way no. And why?
Normally, I used to buy water like, let's say, 3 times in a day. But like now, the price, because of the price, I think I'm going to make it 1. And I used to eat like, let's say, maybe 3 times in a day. But like eating every day, I'm going to have to buy water. So like now, I'm going to shorten it to maybe 1.
Now take a look at the 3 facts about the World Cup. Now, fewest number of stadiums to host the Qatar 2022 World Cup. Only 8 stadiums have been lined up by Qatar to host the FIFA 2022, which is the lowest number of venues for the World Cup in recent years. Second fact, FIFA 2022, only the second ever FIFA World Cup to be held in Asia. Not only will Qatar be the first ever Middle Eastern nation to host the FIFA World Cup in 2022, but it will also be only the second time when the prestigious competition takes place in Asia. The first time it happened was in 2002 when Japan and South Korea co-hosted the FIFA event for the first time in Asia. Third fact, FIFA 2022 to be the most expensive World Cup ever. Another interesting fact about the upcoming World Cup 2022 in Qatar is the amount the host nation is spending in preparations for the upcoming event. As per an estimate, Qatar is spending a whopping $200 billion on infrastructure projects, which includes the construction of stadiums, highways, hotels, and so on. Now, need to make an urgent call, but you realize you do not have credit, or your very important conversations was cut short because you ran out of airtime? Well, there's no need for all the stress, because all you have to do on MTN is dial *506# and you get to borrow credit on MTN Extra Time. The best part is you can also borrow data by dialing the same number, *506#, and you can bundle data whenever you run out of. To continue browsing as always, your conversations don't need to end. Borrow extra time now and enjoy the things you love on your favorite network, MTN. We'll be right back after this break.
It was really terrible. I will tell you, it was really terrible because we've passed through some like that before, but it wasn't like the first one.
You're welcome back. Good to have you with us. Former President John Dramani Mahama will address the nation on the prevailing economic situation this evening at 7 p.m. John Mahama will be speaking on Ghana's collapsed economy and the unprecedented hardships sweeping across the land and the way forward. Let's speak with my colleague, Jerry John Akono, our man out there at the University of Professional Studies. Jerry, describe to us how the atmosphere out there is like ahead of the former president's address.
We are coming to you live from the University of Professional Studies, where it is expected that the former president, John Dramani Mahama, will be delivering a lecture on the economy. Phyllis Ofosu-Kwakye is a former Deputy Information Minister and aide to the former president. He has joined me for conversation on the lecture that will be taking place this evening. Just to Phyllis, welcome to Metro TV.
Well, thank you very much.
Just to find out from you, why this lecture?
Well, I think that it is now common knowledge that the Ghanaian economy is a complete shambles. It has virtually collapsed. And our government and its economic management team are in 6s and 7s. They do not appear to know what to do. They don't have a clue as to how to salvage the situation. But whereas the fact that the economy has collapsed is well known, not much is known about how we have come to this stage. and what can be done to get out of it. So being a major stakeholder in the management and governance of this country, the NDC has found it necessary to directly engage the people of Ghana and apprise them of the reason why we are here and what can be done in the short, immediate to long term to get us out of this mess and ensure that this disastrous economic situation, which has created the worst hardships that this country has seen in recent memory, does not recur. So that is essentially why we are here this evening.
The theme for this particular lecture, the Ghana we want to build, is there a specific reason for this theme?
Of course, there's nobody who can be happy about the state of Ghana at this moment. So definitely, there's a certain Ghana that we all yearn for that we have not achieved. Now, it will take some steps and some efforts to get to that Ghana. And that is precisely what the NDC, through President John Dramani Mahama, wants to engage the Ghanaian public about. So the theme is appropriate. It fits the current situation and it touches the very core of the issues that are at play at this particular moment.
Is this lecture going to profess some solutions to the economic problems Ghana is facing?
Of course, the theme in itself answers that question. We are not here to lament. Like I indicated, everybody knows we are in economic hardships. So there's no point belaboring it. But what has not been discussed much is what this government did to bring us here, in order that the dubious narrative that they've tried to weave around the subject is defeated. And also, what steps can be taken to get us out of this mess. That is what the people of Ghana want to hear, and that is precisely what the NDC wants to deliver to them this evening.
Apart from the economy, is the former president going to touch on any other national issue?
Talk about the economy. There will be plenty of opportunity further down the line to discuss other matters. But today, the economy is the most topical issue on the minds of all Ghanaians. The hardships that we are going through have never been witnessed in our history. And therefore, it is important that we hone in on that subject and address it in a comprehensive manner that answers a few questions that have been raised by the people of this country.
Phyllis Otukashe is the Deputy Information Minister and an aide to the former president. Thank you very much for the opportunity. And so the lecture, the arrangement is ongoing. The preparation is underway. I've seen a few of NDC big ways. I've seen the former Energy Minister, Honorable Buama, and other Ashanti regional executives. So it is expected that the former president will touch on some solutions, will profess some solutions that will take care of, that will profess some solutions for the economic problems that Ghana is facing. We'll come back to studio for IFWA to take on.
Jerry John Okonoma now there at the University of Professional Studies, where former President John Mahama will be speaking on the economy later this evening. Now, the Central Bank has revoked licenses of 2 forex bureaus in Accra. Airport City Forex Bureau and the Trade House Forex Bureau Limited were shut down for breaching the forex exchange law of the Bank of Ghana.
The 2 Forex Bureau, Airport City Forex Bureau and the Trade House Forex Bureau Limited, were found to be flouting some regulations of the Central Bank. According to the Bank of Ghana, the Bureau sets forward rates and continuously failed to issue receipts to customers. Officials of the bank, led by the head of Finance and Supervision Department, Yao Sapon, revoked their licenses after gathering enough evidence of their breaches.
The Bank of Ghana has today decided to revoke the licenses of Airport City Forex Bureau and Trade House Forex Bureau. These 2 Forex Bureaus are under the same ownership. You may recall that a few weeks ago, we undertook mystery shopping, and they were found not to be complying with the Foreign Exchange Act and various notices issued under the Act. There are several rules under the Act. You know that you have to issue electronic receipt, you have to take IDs, and the 2 bureaus on several occasions have been found not to be complying. And the way they operate, the way they set their prices, their pricing is detrimental. And we think that the licenses of the two bureaus have to be revoked.
He added that the police has a task force in place to clamp down on black market trading, which is illegal.
We are confronting the issues from all angles. Now, there are licensed forex bureaus which are not operating according to the law. So for licensed institutions, be it banks or forex bureau, which are not complying with the rules, the Bank of Ghana will deal with them. In addition, we are going after the black market as well. And as you are aware, recently we did a swoop, and several swoops have been planned. So I want to use this opportunity to sound a warning to those who are engaged in the illegal business. It is an offense to buy or sell foreign currency in this country without a license. So I want the general public to know, if you need foreign exchange, you must go to a licensed forex bureau or a bank for your foreign exchange needs. You cannot go to the black market. The person standing by the roadside is engaged in illegality. And if you patronize their services, you're also engaged in illegality.
The Bank of Ghana is advising Ghanaians to trade with licensed forex bureaus, as well as asking the bureaus to provide receipts for transactions. The central bank believes these are part of efforts to ease the pressure on the Ghana cedi, which has seen a slump in recent times.
Joining us via phone for more is Director of Strategy and Business Operations at Daylex Finance, Joe Jackson. Good evening to you, Mr. Jackson. What is your initial reaction to the Bank of Ghana's operations revoking the licenses of two forex bureau operators for breaching the forex laws?
Good evening, and to your listeners and your viewers. First of all, if these forex bureau operators were doing something illegal, something contrary to the regulations that govern forex bureau operations, then by all means they should be closed down. And we commend the central bank for taking an action to bring everybody in line. But on the other hand, if anybody thinks that closing two forex bureaus down or revoking their licenses or going will in any way have an effect on the cedi to dollar rate or the value of the cedi, then I'm sorry, that is not going to happen. This action, however welcome, however right, does not address the core issues that have affected the value of the cedi.
So you're saying, Mr. Jackson, you're saying that this is not going to affect the cedi in any way?
No, this is a good action. Let's not get confused.
Okay.
It's a good action. If they are operating wrongly, if they're operating illegally, if they're operating, if they have doing things illegal, they should be closed down. But this does not address the core issues of confidence in the cedi, which has been driving the cedi into a vicious cycle of constant depreciation.
And do you think this is something that must be regularly done? Should it be done very often?
Why not? It's a good thing. But it doesn't change the issues, the most pressing issues that we are facing now.
Right. Thank you very much, Joe Jackson. He's Director of Strategy and Business Operations at Daylex Finance. I thank you very much for your time. Moving on, some communities in the Weija municipality have begun flooding as a result of continuous pillage of the Weija Dam. Homes of residents of Tetegu, New Weija, and Obulogo have been inundated, causing some of them to consider seeking solace elsewhere. There's more in this report.
Residents say, just like the recent situation, they received no notice about the spillage. The residents who were yet to settle fully after they were forced to put up elsewhere some few weeks ago are left with no option but to consider leaving the communities again. Currently, 5 floodgates of the Wager Dam have been opened at 36 inches for Gate 1, 24 for Gate 2 and 4, and 36 inches for Gate 5. Here are some residents speaking to Metro News.
Currently, they are asking us to leave. Where do they want us to go? We have nowhere to go.
We were only told this morning that the dam is full, so they will open it.
As at the last time it came, it was really terrible. I will tell you, it was really terrible because we've passed through some like that before, but it wasn't like the first one. And it really affects most of us, and we had to leave the premises to save our lives.
I work here as a painter. We woke up this morning to realize they have opened the dam. We initially thought it had rained, but when we asked, we were told the dam had been opened. Today isn't the first time it has happened. It usually happens.
Whilst advising residents to move to higher grounds, the MCE of Wager Agbawe, Patrick Kumo, has also mentioned that the Assembly has activated its emergency response mechanism.
Our information this morning, all the 5 gates have been built. The higher one is at 36 inches, and that is 2 is having 36 inches, and then the rest are all on 24 inches. The last time that we had that got people's homes affected, they were then doing at 64 inches per gate, but we haven't gotten there yet. So we're hoping that we wouldn't have so much water coming from the eastern region for us to get Ghana water getting to that level of speeding.
Some supporters of the ruling New Patriotic Party in the Fomena constituency in the Ashanti region have called on the national executives of the party to, as a matter of urgency, use the laid down structures and procedures to organize polling station, zonal and constituency elections in the constituency. This, according to them, will foster a peaceful atmosphere in the constituency ahead of the 2024 elections. Our Ashanti regional correspondent, Abdel Baset Suleiman, has more.
Fomena constituency in the Ashanti region was characterized by disturbances last year ahead of the NPP's internal elections at the zonal, polling station and constituency level. The elections were suspended while a committee was set up to look into the matter for an appropriate solution. Faithfuls of the party are kicking against the district chief executive of the area's move of introducing some persons purported to be executive of the constituency when elections were not held. The aggrieved persons have been addressing a section of the press in the constituency. They called on the party to use the laid down structures and procedures for organizing polling station, zonal and constituency elections in Fomena constituency to foster peace.
The national and regional party are fully aware of the fact that there are no constituency executives in Fomena. So it is surprising that the district chief executive, Honorable Eric Kwakukusi, is going around the constituency with some people believed to be the constituency executives of Fomena constituency, when even polling station elections have not been done. The actions of the DCE is an affront to the decision of the ADR committee of the party, and we expect the national party to call on Honorable DCE to order as a matter of agency.
They also slammed the party's regional executive for their lackadaisical attitude approach towards resolving the impasse in the constituency.
Yayani bese 6 times ni nyina nso ya baby. Dia me huni pa ne se chairman untumi Ashanti regional chairman wa fa Fomena constituency se akonta man ana wo complete. Ya me na tinde dua yi se Fomena constituency no enye akonta man. Onyi ni samfrim na empanimfo ntimi mram no mesisi asem no. Ekoya Chairman won't me afaswa odi Fomena ekono wo se no owura Steven Intim oni be makukodu for lawyer kodua ye ka kire mo
sɛ momma nipa mmra fam na ha wɔmmra mebusabusadeɛ kɔ soɔ na mommra mɛyɛ nhyehyɛeɛ na yɛnto aba no fo.
Breast Cancer Awareness Month is proudly brought to you by Reflow Sanitary Pad and Baby Pull-Up Diaper and Givers Floor and WC Cleaners.
It's now time for our breast cancer tip. You're still watching Newsnight. We'll be right back after this break.
Good evening, welcome back to Newsnight Live on Metro TV. My name is Winston Taki. And now to our first business story. The 2021 State of Ghana's Economy Report reveals that the lack of fiscal consolidation effort by the government has weighed off investor confidence in the economy. According to the Executive Director of ISE, Professor Peter Quartey, there is an urgent need for the nation to reconsider investment in agriculture and the manufacturing sectors.
The world economy is undergoing significant challenges in 2022, with fuel prices rising, food and energy prices with significant global uncertainties. At the launch of the State of the Ghana Economy Report, the Director of the Institute of Statistical, Social and Economic Research, Professor Peter Quartey, says the government's refusal to yield to the expert advice worsened the nation's economic woes.
No, I wouldn't say we went in too late because we had a policy that government thought it will work, and we're hanging on e-levy. The mistake was that e-levy was not well crafted. The rate of 1.75 or 1.5 will never work. So if we had known or listened to good counsel and knew that e-levy wouldn't work, then we would have gone to IMF earlier. But we thought e-levy would give us the revenue that we needed, so we were able to operate. But that, unfortunately, that did not work, and we had to rush to IMF. As soon as e-levy didn't work, the market started to react. External investors started to react, started to exit the market, and that is what precipitated the rush to the IMF. E-levy shouldn't be at 1.5%. Never in history that you sell a product that has substitutes and you say, I am pricing it high. It doesn't make economic sense. I think we should have priced it very low, 0.5. People will pay and use the service. It's a useful service. We also have to raise taxes. So e-levy is a good way of raising taxes. We have to pay, but not at the current rate.
He further proposed a robust investment into the agric and manufacturing sectors.
I think at the moment, rising food prices is a major problem. So let's target agric. Irrigation, if we want to make investment, let's target agric. Let's make the right investments in agriculture. We shouldn't just be supplying fertilizers to small-scale farmers. There are many, but they don't produce a lot. Also target some large-scale commercial farmers, grant them credit guarantee, provide credit guarantee, etc. If we are able to revamp agriculture and also manufacturing, that is going to.
The 31st edition of the annual report on the economy of Ghana focused on the various sectors of the economy, including the nation's engagement with the International Monetary Fund.
Ghana has significant challenges with marine plastic waste being the chief threat to the coastal waters. According to the World Economic Forum, it could take up to $4.5 billion to clear Ghana's waters of plastic waste. This was discussed at the Advancing Sustainable Ocean Business in Ghana conference held in Accra.
Take up to $4.5 billion to clear Ghana's waters of plastic waste, the executive director of the UN Global Compact Network, Tulu Kweku Lakwa, was optimistic about the interest expressed by foreign institutions to fund the nation's sustainable ocean business actions to secure a healthy ocean.
So we really want to do this program, one, to highlight the issues,
But actually, at a critical time when there's a lot of financial interests abroad to bring these kind of projects to Ghana, to connect Ghana to the blue economy. So I think now is the best time, and with everybody's interests and all the stakeholders coming together, we could create something quite beautiful.
The managing director of the Africa Environmental Sanitation Consult, Dr. Abena Entry, highlighted the health threats of plastic waste.
The agency in this space is closer to home than we think, where research is indicating, and it's not conclusive yet, that our fish stock, a lot of them, upon consumption in a few years, will be eating the plastics that they are eating. And the effect on our bodies, we can't tell yet. So the challenges are a lot. It's a mindset thing. It's a policy framework problem. It's an enforcement problem.
The Ocean Stewardship Coalition brings together leading companies, governments, NGOs, academic institutions, and UN partners to determine how the ocean and ocean industries can deliver on the 17 Sustainable Development Goals and the Paris Agreement targets.
Now we're all for business here on Newsnight. My name is Winston Taki. We'll be back with sports after this break.
It's 45 past 18 hours CMT, the Ghanaian capital, Accra. My name is Phil John Quarter, and it's time for sports. The national under-23 team known as the Black Meteors will face their Mozambican capital at the Babaya Sports Stadium, an African qualifier, after beating them in Maputo by 2-1. Victor Kwao has more.
In the fourth place in the previous tournament in Egypt, well, the Black Meteors are eyeing a place in next year's African Under-23 Cup of Nations in Morocco. They started pocketing a 2-1 victory in Maputo, Mozambique, with a return leg set for Sunday at the Babaya Sports Stadium. Daniel Efriebanye is saying that he is not leaving anything to chance as they host Mozambique.
Our mentality towards that game was at least we should bring a point home, but by the grace of God we were able to pick up all the 3 points, so we are very, very excited, and then it has also reduces the pressure. We are here, we are local guys, it's only one player that from the foreign base, which is Philemon Bafo. So the incident that happened in Kumasi, I think if we couldn't watch or if we haven't seen this thing, at least we've heard a bit about it. So at least that one always even tells us not to be complacent or not to relax. Yeah, because football right now, anything can happen in the field, on the field of play. Yeah, and football as a game has developed. You can't suggest or you can't conclude unless the game is over. Yeah.
Speaking about the team, Kotoko shortstopper Danlad Ibrahim having shared his thoughts on how important it is for the team to qualify for Morocco next year.
I've been in that situation before, so even I think yesterday we just had a meeting with the guys and I just explained things to them. We need to kill them because there is a national team, and when maybe you qualify to the next stage, you get the opportunity to play another qualifier game with either Congo or Algeria, and it will also help you to maybe to win the heart of the coaches. Maybe in the next level, maybe you can be called. So we need to give our all to get a good name, so that in any call-up they can just be named again. So we have to work extra harder to cure them or to finish the game here in Ghana as well.
With all eyes faced at the Babaya Sports Stadium on Sunday, the Black Meteors will be looking to edge past their Mozambique counterpart and perhaps move into the next round with a place in next year Under-23 African Cup of Nations.
Now let's focus on the Ghana Premier League that resumes over the weekend. Former President of the Republic of Ghana, John Dramani Mahama, is calling on the leadership of the FA to improve the standard of the game.
Ghana's former president John Dramani Mahama has heaped praise on GFA couple Kurt E.S. Okreku for his leadership role at the Ghana Football Association. John Mahama made these comments when a delegation from the nation's football governing body made a courtesy call on him in Accra. The meeting was to seek the support of the statesman ahead of the Black Stars 2022 World Cup campaign in Qatar. Speaking at the short meeting, the former president underscores the fact that the Kurt-led administration has generated a renewed interest in football activities in the country. He mentioned that under the current Okreku administration, the Ghana Premier League and the FA Cup competitions for both men and women have made a return after a couple of years away. The Black Searchlights have won an African crown and the Black Stars have qualified for the World Cup. He, however, urged the executives of the GFA to ensure that the standards of the Ghana Premier League sees more improvement in order to generate the interest of Ghanaian football fans.
Under your administration, the GFA has brought some more vitality into our football, and we're all supporting your administration to make sure that we move football to the next level. I know there are challenges, especially in the domestic league. Now, because of English Premier League and all that, I mean, our people are more tuned to watching La Liga and things, and so people are not coming to the stadium as much as they should. But it's normally a good family entertainment to go with the family and watch a local match. But we need to raise the standard so that people will love to come and watch. And they've been concerned about refereeing and all that. So when that happens, it depresses the quality of the league. But we have faith that you have all that in hand, and we'll continue to support you. Our doors are open. If there's anything you think as a former president I can do to bring any moral encouragement or anything, don't hesitate to let us know.
Well, that's your sports. My name is Phil John Quarter. Up next, Showbiz.
In showbiz, the 10th edition of the African Legends Night has been launched here in Accra. Ghanaian musicians Samini, Efia, Amachi Dede and Rexomar are set to headline this year's edition, which happens to be the 10th edition.
The launch of the 10th anniversary of the African Legends Night was held at a brief ceremony at the National Museum of Ghana. According to the CEO of Global Media Alliance, the organizers of the program, this year's edition promises to be exciting with new initiatives and a lineup of legendary musicians to thrill patrons.
In marking the 10th anniversary, for the first time, it will be hosted in the month of December, offering a new December in Ghana event experience for Ghanaians and the diaspora. This event is not just for Ghanaians, and we have built this show for audiences beyond the shores of Ghana. Also this year, we are instituting the African Legends Hall of Fame and the Digital Legends Museum to document the recognition of our African music legends.
Emma Wanani, the Chief Director of Global Media Alliance, spoke to Metro News about the selection of an all-Ghanaian lineup for the event.
10 years has been really, really amazing. As you saw the documentary, it's been very nostalgic, bringing all these legends together. One of the reasons that made us select just Ghanaians for this year is because we are moving the event to December. I'm not saying that every year it's going to be just Ghanaians, but we wanted to just acknowledge the December in GH by having the people coming, diaspora, Ghanaians in Ghana, to acknowledge that we have quite the right music in Ghana, and that's why we selected just a Ghanaian lineup.
The all-Ghanaian lineup of musicians unveiled at the launch included Samini, songstress Efia, and high-life legends Amachi Dede and Rexomar. Present at the launch was Best in Me singer Efia, and she was excited to have been chosen to be part of the performers.
It's such an honor to be on this stage with legends, and being one myself. So I feel like I just got upgraded.
Over the 10-year period, several musicians from across Africa have graced the African Legends Night stage, which includes the late Hugh Masekela, Kojo Ntwi, Yvonne Chakachaka, Awilo Longoba, Freddie Merway, and many others. The 10th edition will take place on Friday, 2nd December at the Grand Arena of the Accra International Conference Center.
And Rihanna makes return with Black Panther Wakanda Forever single Lift Me Up, her first new music in 6 years. Rihanna is making her much anticipated return with the lead single on the Marvel film Black Panther Wakanda Forever. The Fenty founder tweeted Wednesday about her forthcoming single Lift Me Up, which is set to release on Friday. According to a press release, the tune was written by Rihanna, fellow artist Thames, Oscar winner Ludwig Göransson, and Black Panther director Ryan Coogler as a tribute to the late Black Panther star Chadwick Boseman. Up next is international news.
"14 illegal miners in South Africa have been cleared of rape charges after DNA evidence failed to link them to the crime. In July, 8 women were attacked by dozens of men while they were filming a music video near an abandoned mine outside Johannesburg. Reports of the attack rocked South Africa and led to violent protests and threats against undocumented migrants. East and Central Africa's largest telecoms firms, Safaricom, has switched on 5G services in 5 cities in Kenya. People who can afford it at high cost could experience data speeds 10 times faster than a 4G connection. The opening up of 5G is expected to boost the country's digital economy, e-commerce, and the ICT sector in general. People protested in front of government buildings in a northwest Iranian city after one of the biggest nights yet of demonstrations. Widespread unrest has rocked Iran since Kurdish Iranian woman Mahsa Amini died in police custody 40 days ago. Overnight, tens of thousands of people took to the streets in major cities as well as other places where demonstrations had subsidized recently.
Let's now take you to the University of Professional Studies, where former President Mahama will be speaking on the economy. My colleague Annie Efua Ampofo is there and takes over now.
We'll be having with the nation this evening. It is about Ghana. It is no longer about political parties because we are all feeling it. A gallon of diesel today is selling above 70 Ghana cedis. A gallon of petrol is selling above 60 Ghana cedis. A bag of cement is selling above 80 Ghana cedis. We are all feeling the heat. We are all feeling the economic mess, which is a product of bad leadership, really. And so this theme has been carefully designed to redirect, okay, the conversation around the economy on Ghana and what we all, irrespective of our religious, our social, our political backgrounds, can do to bring about the needed changes. That is what is expected of us as an opposition, and that is why His Excellency John Dramani Mahama, the presumptive leader of the opposition, will be doing this evening.
You've been monitoring the negotiations at the level of IMF. Does it look like we will be able to secure a deal before the year end?
Before?
The year end.
I am very pessimistic about that. I'm very skeptical about that because the intel we have is so far the debt sustainability analysis that the World Bank is currently engaging in with the central bank is not going well because our debt position is clearly unsustainable. The World Bank is projecting a debt to GDP of 104%, and the ratio of domestic revenue to our public debt is still very poor. And so government has not been able to present any compelling document to the IMF that convinces the fund that our debt is sustainable or will be sustainable in the short term. And you know that that is a prerequisite for any IMF bailout program. And so without that, given the difficulties we are having with the debt sustainability analysis currently ongoing, I am not optimistic that we will get a favorable program before the year ends. And so as President Mahama has said in time past, it is about time this government listened to wise counsel and assembled the brilliant finance and economic minds we have in this country from different political parties.
What is that single most important thing you want them to listen to? Single most important advice you want them to listen to?
Well, there are a lot of things we want them to listen to, but if your question is about the single most important thing, then it's about holding to account those who have created a mess, sacking them from office and bringing aboard new faces who can restore some of the confidence we have lost. And so the first thing the president has to do is to dissolve the economic management team and dismiss the chairman of that team, Alhaji Bawumia, who has proven to be an unmitigated disaster. He is the one who creates all the economic policy. Ken Ofori-Atta is just an implementer. So he must give way to a more competent mind. And I believe that even in the NPP, they can find such minds in there. Again, the finance minister, who through his selfishness and his greed, has so mismanaged the economy, accumulating unprecedented debts, must be sacked. Charles Adu Boahen must be sacked, and new competent minds, patriots who think about this country and care for the ordinary Ghanaian, care about the economy, brought on board. Okay, that gesture in and of itself will, I believe, bring back a great deal of the confidence the investor community has lost in the Ghanaian.
Sammy, you know that in our nation we practice winner takes all politics. Who are you looking up to if you say that the economic team should be dissolved? Who are you looking up to in the NPP to replace Ken Ofori-Atta, for instance? To replace the vice?
The replacement is a secondary matter. The most important thing is to dissolve the economic management team. Dr. Bawumia has no business chairing that team. They have been exposed as totally bankrupt in ideas relative to prudent economic management. And so it is no longer tenable that we should continue to pay these people huge salaries, per diems, anytime they go for meetings, when clearly the deliverables shows that they have totally failed and they continue to fail. If the Ghana cedi that Bawumia was brought on board to stabilize today is depreciating at over 50% for 2022 alone, and is now the worst performing currency in the world, if inflation today is galloping and hovering around 37, 38%, if interest rates are hovering around 40% and above, if Ghana's economy has been locked out of the international capital markets and we have lost access to the Eurobond markets, if today our economy has been downgraded below junk status, below baller economy status, then it is no longer justifiable that we should continue to maintain these public officers and pay them at the expense of the impoverished Ghanaian taxpayer. The Ghanaian taxpayer that they have impoverished through their recklessness and their cluelessness and their crass mismanagement. So let us get them out of the way first, and then we can have a discussion about their replacement. And I'm saying that any team that will replace this current economic management team we have should be a bipartisan team whose membership will be drawn from all facets of our lives as Ghanaians: commerce, banking sector, the different political parties we have, civil society organizations. The Kwame Pianims are still there. The Sam Jonas are still there. Let us bring them on board. Makasibe Yabua, they are all still there. Okay, let us bring all of them on board and listen to what they also have to offer the good people of this country. So I hope we continue this conversation after this program, because as you can see, His Excellency is already in the hall and the program will be starting in a jiffy.
Thank you very much, Sammy. Thank you. And so it is the lecture by the former president at the moment. The lecture is about to start, and so the opening prayer, the former president have just arrived at the auditorium and will be delivering a lecture. And this lecture, I'm told, is not going to touch on any other national issues. It is purely about the economic problem that are facing this country. And the former president John Dramani Mahama is expected to profess some solutions that will be taken on board and make sure that things work. As I must confirm that the program is about to start, and an opening prayer, because the former president has life, you will agree with me that the economic indicators of this country are not too